Hey, ladies, welcome, welcome. It's Desiree Stafford. Super excited to be here with you today because we're talking about money, specifically how to command higher end fees and get them. So pardon my look away for just a moment because I'm bringing up my notes on my computer screen. This is going to be a really powerful but brief training for you if you have been wanting to raise your fees for a while. Perhaps you've raised the fees and then lowered them again. Perhaps you are at a stage in your business where you're feeling exhausted, mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted from serving your clients. So you need a different way to actually make the kind of money that will allow you to live the lifestyle that you desire and also serve your clients so that they're getting amazing results, right? So we're going to talk about that today because typically the clients who are coming to me are in that stage of their business where they're basically wanting to receive more, right? They're wanting to receive at a higher level, and that usually involves raising their fees, restructuring their business model, and things like that. So, if you feel like right now you've got a ton of expertise, but the way you're running your business is not creating the freedom that you desire, you're going to benefit a lot from this training. If right now you're so overworked in your business that you don't have the time in your personal life to do the things that you want to do, you don't have time to spend with your man, you don't have time to spend with your kids, you don't even have time to date, right, the way that you want to. If your friends feel like strangers, then you'll benefit greatly from this training, okay? So what are we talking about? We're talking about, how to raise your fees, how you can command higher fees. Because again, this is an important topic for you if you know that you have expertise and you can sense when you're undervaluing the work that you do, right? And you know that if you continue down this path, the way things are going in your business, you're either going to burn yourself out completely, or you're going to lose passion for what you do, or you're going to end up alone, right? How much longer do you think the people that really care about you are going to put up with you not being present in your relationships because you're so focused on your business, right? Okay. And what's the point of achieving the success that you're after if there's no one to celebrate it with, if there's no one to enjoy it with, or if you're too exhausted to really take advantage of it, right? So it's important that we talk about what we're talking about today. And I also want you to realize how your clients suffer when you are not showing up at your best because you're mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally exhausted by the work that you're doing, right? And the way that you're doing your work. Let me rephrase it. By the way that you're currently doing your work, right? So you want your clients to get the best results and you want to have a business that you feel excited about, right? That you're literally jumping out of your bed, excited about doing your work and serving the clients that you serve. And you get to make the kind of money that, gives you the resources to do everything else that you want to do outside of your business, right? To me, that's holistic success. So what have you tried before, right? What have you tried if you're in the stage of your business where the money is not coming in the way that you'd like it to, but you really don't know what else to do in order to generate the right kind of income without burning yourself out, right? Well, like I mentioned before, you probably have tried raising your fees, right? I don't think there's any client who's ever come to me who has not tried to raise their fees on their own. And typically what ends up happening is they lower their fees again because they oftentimes are attracting prospects who tell them that they can't afford it. They're not understanding how to move beyond that objection in the sales conversation. A lot of times their marketing is what's the real culprit. And so they end up losing their confidence and they end up lowering their fees, which is a disservice to them, obviously, a disrespect to their gifts, right? And it's also a disservice to their clients. Because one of the things that we want to understand when it comes to fees is that our fee is part of our client's accountability, right? Because when people have more skin in the game, they are more likely to show up and to perform, right? And I will tell you something. I recently stepped into a higher end program, the highest level program that I've stepped into. And I felt fear, right? Normally we're going to feel fear, but I also felt more excitement than fear. I just knew it was what I needed from myself to perform at the level that I know I'm capable of performing at, right? And I want you to realize that that's the same thing for your clients, right? they're wanting to step up at a higher level so that they can perform, so that they can experience the transformation that they need to experience at a higher level, right? So we'll talk about that more later. Anyway, what else have you tried, right? What else have you tried to start generating more income without burning yourself out? You probably have tried offering group programs, maybe even monthly membership type programs, those kind of things. And I know that the retention rate on that can be a little bit, of a challenge. And in all honesty, typically the people that I've spoken to, clients that have come to me who have done that model, I'm not saying it doesn't work, I'm just saying that the clients who've come to me who have tried that model usually end up closing it down because they're not getting the results that they want. Typically, the clients that are enrolling in those lower end programs are not really your ideal clients, right? They don't feel like they're aligned, and so they're not getting the results that you know that they're capable of. And it's kind of like a lose-lose. You're certainly not making the income that you desire to be making from those programs, but you're also, I want to say, demotivated because you're not seeing the results that you expect to see from those clients, right? So that's not something that that typically will work for you long term if you've tried that, or you won't be necessarily satisfied with it long term. Because I work with high achievers, right? So we want big results for ourselves and for our people, right? Or even perhaps you've tried launching masterminds. And to me, anything lower than, let's say, $10,000 is a lower end mastermind. And maybe that hasn't really been giving you the results that you want, again, because you're not really inviting the right people into, or your ideal clients into that mastermind, right? So I will tell you this, in order to get sustainable results with whatever strategy you're using, with whatever business model you decide to design for yourself, in order to get sustainable results, right? In order to actually scale doing what you're doing, you have to be sure of three things, okay? You need to be sure, number one, that you are selling what you were born to be selling, okay? Whatever program you put out there, whatever package you create, it must be coming from a combination of your unique gifts, skills, and talents, okay? So some of us have similar gifts, some of us have similar talent, right? But you have a unique combination. That is the work that you were born to do, and it's very important that you sell it, that you don't waver off of it, okay? Because there are so many people in this marketplace who are doing the opposite. There are so many people in this marketplace who are selling what they think they should sell, not what they feel is their calling, not what they feel is their purpose to be selling, right? Not what they were literally born to do. Why? Because some coach way back when told them that, if you want to make money, you've got to be in this niche. You've got to be doing this thing. You've got to talk about this particular thing, right? And you don't feel like you're in alignment. And if you're not in alignment, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to sell, or at least you're not going to sell consistently, right? So that's number one. You got to make sure that whatever it is that you are selling, and you can sell anything, I will tell you that right now, you can sell anything, okay? You do not have to sell people or create programs on how to make money. Most of my clients, by the way, are not business coaches. Most of my clients are spiritual entrepreneurs. They're typically healers or intuitives or something like that, where making more money sometimes is a side benefit of the work that they do, but it's not typically what their messaging is even about, okay? So you can sell anything. You have to learn how to position it the right way, and you have to have the confidence in your offer and see the value in your offer, right? But you have to know that you do not have to be a business coach to command higher end fees. We're talking about $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, right? Okay, so that's number one. The second thing, if you want sustainable results, is you want to make sure that you are selling to the people that you were born to serve, okay? Now, I used to get this one wrong a lot. And I got this one wrong a lot because of what I talked about yesterday. Remember yesterday I talked about really operating from your higher consciousness? Well, I haven't always operated from my higher consciousness. And there was lots of good reasons that I didn't do that, right? There were reasons, I was told often that I was very strong and I was powerful and I was too direct and I was too much of something, right? So all of that pushback, I internalized, and so I started to suppress myself. And I was afraid that I was afraid that I'd be too powerful for some of my clients. And so I tried to be less than who I was. And I didn't just do it in business, by the way. I did it in all areas of my life, okay? And so I would attract the wrong types of clients. Great people, but we were not aligned. It was not the right fit. And it's super important that you're working with clients that you were born to serve, because they will get the best results specifically because they've worked with you. They will understand the way that you explain things, right? And that will allow them to perform at a higher level, perform at a level that you know that they're capable of, right? So you have to know who your ideal clients are. This is important not only to your own business success, but it's also important to your sanity, by the way, because you know what it feels like when you sign a client or you're working with a client that's not the right fit. It's also very important for your client's results, right? Not everyone is a match. Even if somebody, is struggling with the problem that you normally help people resolve, that doesn't mean that's your ideal client, right? So that doesn't mean that they're going to get results because they work with you. Your ideal clients will. The people you were born to serve will explode. They'll get amazing results. So if right now you want to charge higher end fees, but you're still obsessed, worrying about some client way back when who didn't get the results with after working with you, you might want to look and see, was that really your ideal client, right? Was that really your ideal client? Because it's our responsibility as service providers to make sure that we are signing the right clients, okay? That's our job, right? So you have to know who those people are for you, okay? You also want to make sure that whatever program you create is really going to allow you to deliver results for your clients in a way that does not impede on the lifestyle that you desire. You have to remember, when you sign a client for 90 days, when you sign a client for 6 months, when you sign a client into a 12-month mastermind, that's a big chunk of your life that you're giving to your clients, right? So you need to make sure whatever business model you create for yourself, however you decide to deliver your services, has to be in a way that also allows you to have the life and the lifestyle that you desire outside of work. Because if it doesn't, and you do great work, what's going to happen? You're still going to be burnt out. You're still not going to feel fulfilled. You're still not going to be having fun, because you're going to feel like a slave to your business, right? And we don't want that. So those are the 3 things you need to consider before creating your high-end offers if you want sustainable results, right? Okay. So I like to break things down into 3 steps when we're talking about a lot of what I teach my clients how to do essentially results in them collapsing their monthly income, sometimes their yearly income, into a week or sale, right? I recently booked $50,000 in 24 hours, okay? That's more money than I used to make when I was in corporate in a year, okay? And I've been doing this, it's been kind of consistent now, where I've been collapsing my yearly or my monthly income sometimes into a week. And now I just did 50K in a day, essentially, right? So I'm telling you this because let me backtrack a little bit. I have struggled like you wouldn't believe in this as a coach, as a mentor, okay? And I am someone who came from a background of, before I came online, I had both a 6- and 7-figure business. The 7-figure business was with a business partner. So when I came online a couple years ago and I didn't hit 6 figures in 6 months, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how was that even, like, it blew my mind, I didn't understand. So, and then I struggled for a really long time. Some of you know I almost lost my home. Like, there was so much struggle that I went through. And a lot of it is related to what I mentioned yesterday about, standing in your higher consciousness, really embracing or embodying your power and all that kind of stuff. A lot of it's related to that. And then obviously what we're talking about today, getting yourself to the point where you feel confident that you can receive at a higher level and deliver at that higher level. Because it's not just about the money that you make. You have to also be able to deliver your programs. And I know many of you, that's what scares you. You're afraid that, if I charge more, what's going to be expected of me? And then you start, kind of talking yourself out of it. But that's a whole nother thing we'll talk about in a second. Anyway, I want to break down collapsing your yearly or your monthly income into a week or sale. Okay. So the first thing I like to start with is really getting clear on what your numbers need to look like for you. Whatever your financial goal is for the next 12 months, that's where we start from, right? Most people don't do this. They do things backwards. They're so caught up in the day-to-day, the struggle of, well, I just need to make $5,000 this month, or I just need to make $10,000 right now, to take care of X, Y, and Z, that they don't really create the space for them to actually make the money that would be more than enough to get them out of that, struggling to get your head above water place that many people find themselves in, right? So I like to start by looking at the money first. How much do you need to generate first? Set that intention first. Then we start looking at your offers, right? And what you're going to price them at, okay? So what is your financial goal for the next 12 months, right? Is it 100,000? Is it 250? Is it 500,000? Is it $1 million, right? Whatever that number is for you, write that down, right? That is the number that you're now committing to making within the next 12 months, okay? And now I want you to think about what you're currently charging, right? What are your average rates, right? So if you have one main program or one program that sells most consistently, what is that priced at? Divide that into the goal that you just set for the next 12 months. And that's going to tell you how many clients you need to get to that goal, right? If you have several different programs that you're offering, several different programs that are selling, add them all up, take the average, divide that average into the 12 months, and that's going to tell you what your goal is, or how many clients you need to achieve your goal, right? And I will tell you that typically people don't like their numbers, right? Especially if they're working more than 20 or 30 hours per week, they're like, yeah, these numbers aren't so hot, right? So if you don't like your numbers, right? If it feels like you've got to, sign hundreds of clients to hit your goal, then that's one of the reasons why you haven't achieved your goal yet, right? Because it doesn't really feel doable. So how do you make it more doable? You obviously raise your fees, okay? So let's talk about that, right? This is really, when you want to command higher fees, you have to own your value. And I know that you get that on an intellectual level, but you need to get it deeper than that. Because if you do not get it on a deeper level than that, nothing that I say here today or any attempt that you make to raise your fees will make a significant difference, okay? So remember what I said before about, making sure that you are selling what you were born to do. That's the first step in creating a higher end offer that you're going to be able to sell, right? So again, I talked about making sure that you know what your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents are, because that is the way that you really separate yourself. You really distinguish yourself. You decommoditize yourself from every other, relationship coach or intuitive or healer or business coach or whatever it is that you call yourself, right? Because you have to know that you're not the only one who does what you do, right? There are other people in this marketplace who are doing similar things. So you need to understand what makes you and how you do things different than anyone else, right? This is how no one's going to be able to shop you, right? There's a gazillion business coaches out there, and I call myself a business coach. I don't even know if I'm going to stay with that term, but I know what makes me different, right? Which is why when someone's on the phone with me, I know they're on the phone with me for a reason, and I don't feel the need to compete with any other coach, right? Because I know that they can't get what I offer from anyone else. You have to know the same about you and what you do. All right. You also need to, again, like I said before, be super clear on who your ideal clients are. Who are the people who are going to get the best results because they have worked with you? Super important for you, super important for your clients, right? And you have to know, obviously, the burning problem that you solve for your ideal clients, right? What is that problem that's keeping them up at night? What is the problem that they're going to be willing to invest $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 or more to solve? Right? It has to be a burning problem. And I will be quite frank with you, most of the time a client has a burning problem, but we know as service providers that that's not the real issue. That's just a symptom of the real problem, okay? But you need to be speaking to the symptoms because that's what they're thinking about, right? They're thinking about the symptoms. They're not thinking about the root cause, okay? So you need to know that when you're doing your marketing. Again, you want to make sure that your programs are, when you design your program, that it is aligned with the lifestyle that you desire. It also needs to help your clients get results faster and easier than they could do on their own, which is pretty much a given, because if you do identify your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents, what does that mean? By default, your clients are going to get faster results. They're going to get better results than they could ever imagine getting on their own or with another coach or mentor, right? So that's important. Now, when it comes to pricing your programs, please understand that your price has absolutely nothing to do with how much time you have to spend with a client, okay? And it has absolutely nothing to do with how hard you have to work to help a client get results. Now, I say this because I know many of you are high achievers and overachievers. And you typically will associate your value, your sense of worth, with how much work you put into a thing, with how much efforting you do. And that's something that you have to separate those two, because they're not supposed to be together. It's just that what we've been conditioned to believe for so long, which is why we strive so hard to achieve, right? So as a high achiever, know that working harder is not going to command a higher fee. It's just going to burn you out, right? If you can help your clients get results in 5 minutes, give them the friggin' result in 5 minutes. You don't need to spend 5 hours. You don't need to spend 5 days. You don't need to spend 5 weeks or 5 fucking months with them. If you can help them get the results in 5 minutes, that's what they want. They only care about the result. So I'm saying this to you because I do not want you to extend your, and I made this mistake myself, do not extend the length of your program because you feel like you have to do that to feel worthy of your fee, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, if you were to go to a doctor and the doctor could offer you a treatment that was going to heal whatever ailment you were experiencing right away, right? You wouldn't give a shit. And this is something that you have been in pain and struggling with for fucking years. Would you say to the doctor, no, wait a minute, I think you need to take longer with my treatment because if you don't, I'm not going to pay you whatever your fee is? No, right? A doctor wouldn't even think that way. They'd be like, okay, here's the shot or here's the treatment or whatever it is, and here's my fee. Done, end of story, right? They're not questioning it. The reason why you question it is because you often are still questioning your gift, right? You probably haven't really been accepted for your gifts in the world. You probably still feel a little bit maybe intimidated about sharing it, right? So that's something that you have to work through. And you oftentimes, here's another thing that's coming up. And this is also something that came up for me a lot too, was because you have a unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents, and it is easier for you to help your clients get results. Like what you do, the work that you do with them seems so easy. It seems so natural to you. There may be some guilt associated with charging a higher end fee. I actually was speaking with someone yesterday, and that was part of the conversation we were having, where I was encouraging her to raise her fees, but she was having resistance around that because, you know, she didn't feel, in my words, worthy of charging that amount of money because it didn't require that much time and effort from her. And one of the things that I was talking to her about is that you really want to base your pricing on the transformation that your clients get, not on your time, not on your effort, right? Because when you are gifted at what you do, it will not take you a lot of time. It will not be a lot of effort, right? So you have to be willing to receive at a higher level based on the transformation that your clients are experiencing as a result of working with you. Does that make sense? So forget about the time and forget about how much efforting you have to put in. Cool? All right, so anything else? All right, last thing is keep things simple, right? Keep things simple. You literally only need 1 or 2 programs to get to whatever your goal is, okay? Let's say your goal is $1 million, right? Your goal is $1 million. You only need 200 sales at $5,000 to get to $1 million, right? You only need 100 sales at $10,000 to get there. You only need 50 sales at $20,000 to get there, right? Not a lot of sales. Imagine what you could do in a year, right? Not a lot of sales. And when you really think about it, I use the term sales, not clients, because depending upon how you structure your programs, right? You could be re-enrolling clients every quarter, or, you know, every 6 months, or once a year, depending upon what the packages that you're putting together, right? And when you design your programs this way, especially when they're coming from your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents, you can be certain that your clients will get results. You can have the confidence that you can deliver, and they will get amazing results, better results than they would ever get on their own or with anyone else. And so what happens when you do that? They renew, right? They renew with you. So it's less marketing, less time for you to go out and try to acquire new clients. You have clients who simply renew with you. Make sense? Okay. So keep it simple. So I hope you can see at this point I hope you can picture for yourself how much easier it will be, how much faster it will be for you to achieve your goals, whatever they are, if you were charging higher fees and getting it consistently. Can you see that, right? You can see that, right? Okay. So I will tell you this. I have had clients, like I said before, literally collapse their monthly income into a week. I had another client who not long ago, she collapsed 3 months of income into one day. I have another client who recently, we completely restructured her one-on-one program. So she went from charging $5,000 for a 6-month program to charging $15,000 for a 8-week program, right? This is what's possible when you do this work, what I've shared with you today, when you are basing your programs on the thing you were born to do, right? And you're selling it to the people you were born to serve. And you are designing your programs in a way that are aligned with your desired lifestyle, all right? So I hope this has been valuable for you today. If it has, I invite you to have a conversation with me so that I can help you do the same in your business. So go to DesireeStafford.com/session to get yourself signed up for one of those chats. And let me see if anyone has any questions for me. Hey, Danny, how are you? Oh, let's see. Now I can see how the comments come out. Let's see. I think. Listen, I see the link for, oh, there they go. Hey, Sophie, how are you? Hey, Leslie. Hey, Ashka. Hey, Elaine. Okay, I'm so behind the scenes here. I'm so like backwards. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Jean. Hey, Esther. Hey, Carrie. Oh, Sophia, we should be talking, my friend. Oh, Sophie, sorry. Tara, okay, hold on. That's why people keep trading time for money. Yes, Tara, you are absolutely right. Hey, Raina, how are you? Hey, Richard. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for me before we wrap up today? Questions? Questions going once, going twice? All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap up. So if you do have questions, if anything comes up for you later on, feel free to hit me. Oh, thank you, Raina. Thank you. Feel free to hit me in the comments below, and I will get back to you on them. If you would like a session with me, go to DesireeStafford.com/session to get yourself signed up, because I would love to help you do what I'm doing. I will tell you, you do not have to do the struggle thing like I did for so long. It is, when you finally get to this place in your business, you will look back and think to yourself, why did I put up with what I put up with for so long? Why did I tolerate the inconsistent cash flow? Why did I tolerate working with clients who were not aligned to me? Why did I just put up with all of that shit for as long as I put up with it, right? I can just tell you the transformation, not just from a monetary perspective, but just from on a personal level, who you get to become when you do this kind of work. It's completely amazing. All right. So I wish that for you. And until we speak again, I hope you guys are up to big, bold things in your life and your business. Take care.